Welcome back to Emerald Hills Skies. We're on the outskirts of Louisville, Kentucky here at Emerald Hills. And if you visited the channel before, then you kind of know how we operate. We have outside a RASA 11, and it's sitting on top of an Ioptron CEM70G mount. It's about 200 feet out in a field outside of the building where I'm operating. Typically what we do is we start with a software called Astro Planner, which is basically a targeting software and also a logging software, so we can log our observations. Then typically we go to Sky Safari to see where things are in the sky and kind of keep our connection with the sky. But tonight, for the first time ever, we're trying out Stellarium. And you know what, guys? I think I like it better. I tried Stellarium about a year ago. And to be honest, I just couldn't really enjoy it. It seemed like a resource hog. And it wasn't very friendly to me for some reason. And I don't know if it's because in the past year, the program has developed, because it is open source and the developers are going crazy on really improving it. So I don't know if over the last year they've made that many improvements, or if I've just become, I don't know, more apt to want to try to use it. But for example, right now we're looking at Uranus, and Stellarium is great at showing you where it is in the constellations. And then when we zoom in, you can see this is the field of view of our RASA, this red rectangle. Then you can see as we zoom in closer, we're going to actually be able to look at the movement. This is where Uranus was just maybe 15 minutes ago in relation to the stars, and look how it has moved as a planet across the sky. But I'm particularly interested in see if we can pick up these moons tonight. And you can see we're looking for Oberon and Ariel, and then Titania, and then if we can get really close would be Umbriel and Miranda. So now let's go over to the live view, which is a program called SharpCap. And I've been trying my best to stack this. Our exposures are just 5 seconds long with 100 gain. And sure enough, it's working. You can see the nice green color. And I'm just going to zoom in. Right now, this is 100% on our RASA field of view. But I'm going to go ahead and zoom in beyond what the camera is able. So this is 200%. And that's probably enough. It enables you to be able to see that greenish color of the planet. And you notice the ring structure is part of what is causing Uranus to look so big. Look at the ring structure around. I'm going to go back for a second to Stellarium. Look at the ring structure around Uranus. And remember, Uranus is at 90 degrees tilt. If you just look with me for a second over here in the Wikipedia article about Uranus, you can go down and see this ring structure is actually not aligned with the orbit of Uranus and some of the other and most of the other planets of the solar system. This seventh planet is it has Uranus at like 97 degrees axial tilt with the plane of the solar system. So what that means is we're getting in SharpCap, we're picking up the glow of the rings as it reflects the sun. I just want to make sure we understand. When we look at these other stars out here, these other stars are actually radiating light from their own hydrogen explosions, their own fusion, so to speak. But this bright object here in the middle, this is merely reflecting the sunlight. And keep in mind, it's the 7th planet out, and it's still reflecting that much sunlight. There is no internal engine for that light. That's just sunlight. And it's bouncing back at us. And to me, that's really remarkable. Well, let's see if we can figure out these moons. Now, see how these 2 stars, and these are stars, look how we have 2 stars and then this star and this star, and these make kind of a triangle to be able to frame Uranus for us tonight. So let's go back into Stellarium for a second and see if we can find those triangle stars. So let's back off a little bit. And the one that's going to be the telltale for us are these 2. And then here's this star, and there's that star. So this is that triangle that we're talking about. There's about a 90-degree rotation on my camera as it's mounted on the RASA, and I don't have a camera rotator, of course. So those 3 stars that make up that triangle are not planets. So let's go back to SharpCap. Now this is the live view. This is what we're seeing right now through the telescope. These 3 stars are not planets. So let's go back to Stellarium for a second, and let's zoom in a little more. See, I wanted to go back to Stellarium here. Let's zoom in a little more now, and let's focus on the inner pinpoints that we're seeing. And it's kind of echoing that outer triangle. See, this is the outer triangle. Are you guys seeing this? Let me make sure that you're seeing this. Yeah. This is the outer triangle. Those 2 stars, this star, and this star. But tonight, the position of these moons are such that these moons are actually mirroring that outer triangle of stars, and Ariel, Titania, and Oberon. Now let's go back to the live view. Ariel, Titania, and Oberon. So this would be, those are the stars. So this would be so where the 2 stars are. Boy, Ariel is so close. Yeah, that's the case. Ariel is so close, it must be this. Yes. See how there's this little planet, little moon right there on the outside. So this is Ariel, and then Titania and Oberon. Now you can't always see the moons this well. In fact, you can't always see your Uranus this bright. It's this bright because we are about as close as we ever get to Uranus. So this is Ariel and Titania and Oberon. Now, also notice that tonight we can see Umbriel. It's this moon right here. This is Ariel, Titania, Oberon, and Umbriel. And then if we look really close, you can see something just kind of, it almost looks like a jet of gas that's coming out from Uranus. Well, that actually is not a jet of gas. That's a couple of other moons. And one of those moons is Miranda. And another of those moons is Puck. And another is, I'm going to zoom in a little closer, Juliet. So what you're seeing is the convolution of 3 moons here that are Puck, Juliet, and Miranda. And that's probably all we're seeing. And then this bright, now, what about on the top side? No, I think this is Ariel, and then this just must be some bright ring structure that's kind of causing a diffraction spike. So let's go back to 100% so that we're not introducing this extra mosaic. So these will be sharper. So remember, these are the stars. These are the those are the two stars, and this that make up the outer triangle. So this is Ariel, Titania, and Oberon. And remember, this is Umbriel, and then inside this is Miranda, Puck, and Juliet. Miranda, Puck, and Juliet. I just think this is something we ought to enjoy now because it's going to be a while before we are this close. Now let's go back to Stellarium and kind of enjoy for a minute that we're seeing this little miniature solar system, except it's the system of Uranus. And remember that Uranus is normally not really very close to the Earth, but tonight it is, and that gives it this extra magnitude of 12. Now, remember, the human eye can only see out to about 6. Again, the magnitude counts up from 0. 0 is the brightest, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and at that point, the human eye is not able to see 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're only seeing this because we have this 11-inch telescope that's allowing us to see these views. I wonder if let's make sure we're looking at the right thing. I'm sorry. Uranus is magnitude 5.69. So if you knew where to put your eyes and you looked exactly in the right place, you would barely be able to see Uranus. But these moons are, like, for instance, Umbriel is magnitude 14.9. Let's round it off and say 15. Titania is magnitude 13.8. Oberon, magnitude 14. And Ariel, magnitude 14 as well. These are way, way, way outside the reach of the human eye, much less being able to separate them like this. It would just be impossible. So I'm really loving this RASA 11. Love the diameter of the tube that's getting us these views. Of course, we are stacking here, and we have 27 minutes now, but I don't really think the stacking is making tons and tons of difference for us here. I mean, maybe it is. These are 333 frames, 5 seconds each. I think we're starting to get some movement now. Look how Uranus is starting to look a little bit oblong because it's already moving out of relationship with the stars. Just for the sake of being able to see what it would be like without stacking, let's save this picture. And I'm also going to save a close-up of this system. So I'll save just this little square. And now let's stop the stacking. And let's see what we see with just a 5-second shot. So that's it. That's the 5-second shot. So the stacking was getting us all those moons at magnitude 15. Look what a difference the stacking was making. With just 5-second shot, all you're seeing is just the magnitude, roughly 6 magnitude Uranus, looking like a pinpoint in the sky. Now let's back out at the full vantage point, and I'm sure on YouTube we can barely see those few pinpoints. We could go out to maybe to a 30-second view of the night sky, 30 seconds at 100, and we'll let that fully come in. So, by the way, we're able to operate at 200 feet because of this Icron, the Icron USB Raven 3104. And this Icron Raven is connecting to an Icron unit that's at the base of the scope, and they connect over a Cat7. So there you see a 30-second view of the pinpoints, the stars, and right there in the middle, the brighter one at magnitude 6, that's Uranus. Well, I'm really thankful that you're able to stop by tonight and be able to enjoy Uranus with us. This is kind of like what EAA is all about, Electronically Assisted Astronomy. I've kind of been exploring this live as I'm observing. This is not really astrophotography. I haven't been trying to capture this amazing photograph of the night sky. Instead, I'm kind of exploring, and I'm looking in and out, and you can see that as I've covered. For instance, if we go to Astro Planner, you can see the stuff that I've been working on so far. For instance, Triangulum Galaxy. Let's see, Triangulum. You're not really seeing the pictures change. That's odd. There you go. Now the picture finally changed. So there's Triangulum over there to the right. And then you're seeing, then we did Little Dumbbell, M76. And then we went to Uranus. So that's the way EAA can be. We just explore as we go. If I get through another 10 targets, if I pick up my pace, that's fine. But if I don't, I just really enjoyed seeing Uranus. It's kind of exceptional to see it so close and be able to see these moons. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you like this kind of content, I hope you'll hit subscribe, maybe even click the thumbs up. That helps other people find our channel and gets the word out about Emerald Hill Skies. So thanks for being with us. Thanks to God for the way He makes these amazing objects that we can see in the night sky, and appreciate you picking up with us here as we've been enjoying together this live stream. And we'll look forward to seeing what we can find out next time we're around. So join us again here at Emerald Hill Skies. Thanks a lot. God bless. Good night.